Hey, what's up YouTube? This is the Gulfstream 279BH Part 2. I don't know if any of y'all watched Part 1, but I went over just the electrical issues I had with this camper. Now we're going to go over the other issues I mentioned in the video. I told y'all that there were some other issues. Issue number 1, these speakers outside sound like they're blown. If I had to assume, I'm going to assume that these are not outdoor rated speakers. So I have a list of things I'm fixing to bring the camper back to the dealer that I would like repaired under warranty, and we'll see what happens. Okay, that's one thing. Second thing, this grab handle. See how loose that is? I've already tightened this twice. There's nothing behind the sheet metal. So they have this grab handle screwed directly to sheet metal with no wood behind it. So there's nothing for the screw to grab. So in my opinion, the fix for that would be there needs to be some kind of block of wood in there for the screw to grab a hold of. So we'll see what happens there. I'm not really sure. I don't know of what's going to go on. I haven't brought these issues up to the dealer yet. So I don't know what their response is going to be in order to fix this. If we get down here, under this cabinet here, I had to tighten the drain on the sinks because when I first used the sink, let's see if I can get the camera here. Come on. Okay, well anyways, this nut up here on the, it's hard for you to see, I apologize, but anyways, this top nut was loose, it was dripping water. Also you can see that this cabinet, right here, this shelf is leaning down. They ran 1x2s to frame it, which is fine, but well, not even 1x2s, but I don't know what you call that, 1x1. But anyways, they didn't actually staple it to this wall. So it's a friction fit. So I can't really put nothing on this shelf because the shelf collapses. Gonna tell them about that. Alright. Now, since the first day bringing it home, this happened. Now, all of these staples that popped out of the wall, I pulled most of them out because I actually caught my toe on one of them and sliced my toe wide open. But you can see, it does not want to go back for anything. What that tells me is whoever built this wall of the camper cut this panel too long, and instead of taking it back for a second cut to get rid of the excess, they just shoved it up against there and just stapled the hell out of it. And the first time it went down the road, it popped out. Now this bow goes all the way north or forward into the compartment. I'll show you here. Which tells me the whole bottom of the panel is just too long, and they, instead of trying to cut the excess off, they just stapled the hell out of it. Look. See, look, this is the panel. Is pulled away from the wall, and there's actually quite a bit of tension on that. Quite a bit of tension. So I can't even push that back in to re-staple it. So that's another issue. And again, maybe some of y'all will think that this is nitpicking, but on the last video I said almost $30,000 was what the cost of this camper was, and I was wrong. It was almost $40,000. Okay. Another problem here. This trim board, or this fascia board, or whatever you want to call it, trims out the slide out, the pop out. Look. It's clearly coming off there. Been coming off there. Been coming off there. that's an issue. Alright, we move on to the, this is a couch slash bed. Okay. Ugh, look at that track. See that track moving around? There's the screw for it right there. Come undone. Look at this front board here. This is the trim board. One screw there, another screw up there. That's all they could be bothered with is 2 screws. And this one's already pulled out. Okay. Now keep in mind, this is a brand new camper. Very, very light use. Only been used a couple of times. And I'm just now getting the chance to be able to bring it back. Alright, next issue. Refrigerator. I had to fix myself. Now, I like this refrigerator, this Dometic refrigerator. But if you look back on my channel, I posted about the water heater, what they did with the thermal fuse to make it blow prematurely. They did the same type of tomfoolery with the refrigerator here. Now let me explain. This is a 12-volt refrigerator. It runs off the camper battery up front. Okay? It is a good refrigerator. It comes with a variable speed compressor. So the compressor only runs, depending on the load demand, is how fast the compressor spins. Okay? If you got anybody knows how that, this is a new type of system. I mean, new refrigerators in your home work the same way. It's a good thing. It conserves energy. All right. Second time I fired it up, it wouldn't come on. It acted like it was dead. I checked the fuses over there. Fuses over there were good. So I ended up having to unbolt this. There's 3 screws up here. Hold this plate on. Same thing on the bottom. Sorry about my focus, guys. I don't know what's up with my phone today. It's like 104 outside, so it's hot. But anyways, so I had to pull the whole refrigerator out, set it on the floor to get access to the back where the motherboard is. It has a computer. It has, a big honking computer with coils. It's got variable frequency drive, which is what powers the compressor. And on the motherboard, you'll see there's a micro fuse. I got spares in case it happened again. See where they are. Apologize for not being more prepared. Anyways, I have spare fuses. They're 20 amp fuses. See, I was going to show them to you. Got them in a bat. Here we go. Oh, sorry. Alright. So this size fuse here, micro fuse. Come on, focus camera. So 20 amp. Okay, you see that? Micro fuse is what the fridge takes. And it says clearly printed right on the circuit board, 20 amps. But you know what was in there? There was a 15 amp fuse in there, and it blew. So I replaced the fuse, I turned the fridge back on, and I put an amp clamp on the camper battery to see how much this fridge was drawing when you first turn it on. Now when you first turn it on, this fridge is hot. It's probably 90 plus degrees in there. 100 degrees. It's hot. Okay, this computer turns the compressor on wide open. Well, do you know what the wide open current draw is on the compressor? It's almost 17 amps. So, to me, in my opinion, I feel like that was a planned setup failure for you to have to bring this camper back to the dealer brand new and say, hey, my fridge isn't working. What's going on? They're going to pull it out. The fuse is going to be blown. They're going to take the 15 amp out of there. They're going to put a 20 amp in there, which is clearly on the circuit board itself. You're supposed to have a 20 amp fuse in there. All to get you, I don't know what they're going to charge you for that. I mean, it's a 15-minute repair. They charge $200 an hour labor rate. Maybe they'll charge you for a quarter of an hour. So $50. I don't know. But I do feel like it is to get you back in there to charge you for a repair. So that was the issue I had with the fridge. I put the 20 amp fuse in there, haven't had a problem since. Alright, now this is just me being nitpicky, but all these outlets in here, okay, they cut these holes with one of those zip tools. Okay, you got the drill bit, you just, okay, zero care given. Look how crooked that is. Okay, again, this is nitpicking, but for $40,000, you would think that it'd be some good quality, right? Look at this. Look at my charge port for the USB. Crooked as a jaybird. But, you know, again, that's nitpicking. That doesn't affect functionality. Just nitpicking. Alright, next issue. So the second time I went to use the fart fan here in the bathroom, this cheapo switch they have in there broke. And it broke in the on position. On position. Now, you cannot get to this switch or the wiring from the inside of the camper. You have to access all this from the roof side. So I had to get a ladder, climb up here, disconnect it, and put a wire nut on there to, you know, I obviously don't want it, you know, grounding out and causing problems. But, I mean, literally the second time it was used, the second push, the switch broke. Wasn't too thrilled about that. Alright. Here comes some more problems. The silicone. I don't know what silicone they used to silicone this shower and the sinks and the kitchen sink and the bathtub. But literally, the first time we used the camper and we came in to do our normal cleanup, so every time we go camping, we come home, we deep clean the camper, put it away, let it sit here, right? You know, that's what we do. I don't know what anybody else does. But anyways, this silicone is not adhering to the material that it's on. This is some kind of cheap silicone. And literally that whole bead right there, all the way around. So I sprayed some normal cleaner on there. Went to wipe it, and it came loose. You can see the gaps and the cracks. See it? See the gaps and cracks? So I don't, and the same thing with the sink. We cleaned the counters, and the silicone came loose around the sink. Same thing with the kitchen sink. You can kind of see it. I don't know if you can see it. See it? See the crack? See that there's silicone here, no silicone. No silicone. It's coming loose. So, you know, I've been doing handyman stuff for over 10 years. And I know you have to read the product label because there's certain things that certain products will not adhere to. You have to buy the right product. Could be more expensive. But if you want it to adhere properly, you got to buy the more expensive stuff. So, you know, they're going to have to do something about that. They got to recaulk it or else it's not going to work. It's going to get water in there. Now, this is, again, a pet peeve. I'm sure you can see the reference here. Look at this distance between here and here. Look at the distance between there and there. As these shelves go farther that way, they droop. They fall. All the shelves. I don't know what happened, who was building this what day. I really don't know. Maybe the camper wasn't level before they set their level on it. I'm not going to complain about it. I'm not even going to say nothing about it. Okay, this has never worked since I brought the camper home. They put a self-tapping sheet metal screw into some cheap paneling and expect that to totally hold up the weight of this sliding door. I can't pull it out to show you guys, but this is a sliding door that's supposed to cover this bedroom. that broke before we ever even got to use it. So this has never been in operation. I don't know where the beams or trusses or whatever are located, but this screw is clearly not in one of those trusses. Another problem. Okay, and lastly, like I said, another crooked outlet. This one, let's see, turn the light on. This one is so crooked that the screw don't even have any meat to grab into. And you can see it. Look, here you go for yourself. Now you can tell me exactly what tool was used to cut that hole. It looks like somebody came at this thing with a dull beaver. That's what it looks like. So that's broken. They need to fix this. Now, to me, this is quality issues, quality control. All right? For $40,000, it should be better than this. Should be better than that. I've been in older campers made in the 90s. And it seems to me the quality was a lot better. A lot better quality. And that's mainly it for my rants about this. This is another sink. Silicone came off. If you do have one of these campers, now the salesman at the place who sold us the camper didn't know about this. It's also not in the manual. So I found this out purely by accident. Now, when you go to the dump station and you dump your toilets, okay, you need to run water in the toilet to flush out the rest of the nonsense, right? Well, with this particular camper, you can't do that unless you push out the pop out to get access to the bathroom because it covers the door. Well, I didn't know this, but this sink, and only this sink, is actually directly connected to the toilet tank. So what you can do is come out here, hook water up to your RV, obviously, or if you have it in your holding tank, that's good. I take this off because it flows a lot faster. But this drain is hooked directly to the toilet tank, and that's it. Just the toilet, this sink. Everything else is on the gray water tank. This is on the black water tank. So when you go and hook up your drain lines, you can just run water in this sink and it'll flush out your black water tank. So it's nice to know because that way you don't even have to go in the camper for anything. Just turn the water on here, it'll flush out your black water tank. And one last thing, again, nitpicking, but these screws are screwed directly into sheet metal. There's no wood behind there. I've already tightened these screws up and you can see what's happening here. It's pulling away from the camper. Needs to be fixed. So that's it. I just wanted to share with you guys. So I mean, look, really this slide out needs to be re-siliconed. Look at the silicone coming loose. You see this, guys? This is, to me, this is either improper prep or improper material. But you can clearly see, this is a brand new 2020 camper, guys. And feel free to comment. I mean, if you think I'm wrong, if you think this is the kind of quality you should expect for $40,000, then let me know. But to me, this is nonsense. And this shouldn't be happening. So that's it. This is part 2 of the Gulfstream friendship. Ever since I redid the electrical system, it's been flawless, working great. One upgrade I'm going to do is for the tongue jack and the slide out. I'm going to replace the fuse with the actual circuit breaker that it'll trip, but it'll reset itself. And the reason for that is when you're jacking the tongue up and you're not watching it carefully, it can come all the way up and stall out completely before you let off the button, and that'll blow the fuse. So a resettable circuit breaker would be good for that. Same thing with the pop out. You're rolling it in, you're sliding it in, and if you're not fully paying attention, and once it's in and it binds up that motor, if you don't let off the button quick enough, it'll pop the fuse. So I'm just going to eliminate the problem with popping fuses and just put circuit breakers in there that will reset themselves, or they work on a thermal instead of, you know, one time only. But that's it. That's my issues with the camper. Other than that, been getting great use out of this thing and really enjoying it. But there's some things they need to fix, in my opinion, and I've got it all cleaned up, ready to go now. So that's what we're going to do next. I'm going to bring it to the dealer, and let's see how much of this warranty they honor, considering this is only a couple months old. I know it says structural warranty 3 years. Some of the issues, I don't know if they're going to say is structural or not, but we'll find out. All right, YouTube.